Hello, it's Stephanie with Coffee Paper Scissors. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to be working on a sort of fall themed, not sort of, definitely fall themed little project today. And I have chosen some Distress oxides to use in it. I think I'm just going to use these 5. So I have ground espresso, vintage photo, mustard seed, spiced marmalade, and forest moss. And then I'll be using some of these to kind of, you know, apply it here and there on the paper. So I'm just using mixed media, like an art pad that came from one of the craft stores. I don't know which one, but it is for both wet and dry, but it's not high quality. Okay, so I'm just gonna get started and we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna use my ground espresso first. I have recently re-inked it, so hopefully it's good. And I'm probably gonna get some of those little swirly marks. Okay, so I'm just going for it here and there. And there's probably gonna be some wiggle. I'm gonna put quite a bit on, if I can. That's my goal, quite a bit. And then just kind of here and there. I think I'll work in 3s and see how that goes for me. And I can always add more. Yeah, I don't like those little swirly things. The little things that get a little lint, you know, whatever. But hey, it's just gonna add something to it, right? And then we're gonna try a vintage photo next. I'm gonna use a different, let's see, make sure it's not too, I tried to kind of clean my brushes off a little bit. So vintage photo. We'll do 4 of vintage photo. I feel like vintage photo is going on much easier than my other. I did, like I said, I just re-inked it, but I don't know that re-inking really works all that well. Okay, I'm gonna try some mustard seed. And I'm gonna layer. So I didn't do gesso. I thought, do I do gesso on the bottom? So I'm a total beginner. I have used Distress oxides, of course, in my journal making, but you know, just to ink stuff. As far as mixed media goes, it's something that I enjoy watching, but I get very intimidated. I don't know where to start. And I'm tired of being intimidated about it. And I'm just starting. So that's what we're gonna do together. Hope you will follow me along, and maybe if something intimidates you, you'll just, you know, give it a try because you're seeing somebody else just give it a try. I don't know how much of what I'm doing is gonna show. Oh, so I was talking about the gesso. I'm trying to wipe those little lint pieces off. So I didn't know if it would be better to cover my page with gesso first. And so I just did a little practice on the same paper. And this has gesso underneath it and this doesn't. I like the one without the gesso much better, so we're not doing gesso. And, you know, that could be just because my technique, maybe gesso is the right way to go. I don't know, but we're not using it today. All right, we're gonna go a little bit more. We're gonna use, again, I don't know how much of this is gonna show. We're just seeing what happens here. And then, so that was spiced marmalade, and this one is forest moss. I might need to use a brighter green because it's blending too much. Not that blending is bad, it's just almost not obvious that I'm doing another color. I have a couple other colors, so let's see, of green. So let's see what I can come up with. I mean, it's kind of pretty, but let's see what I have here. Bundled sage. I don't know if that's going to be bright enough. No. And I have mowed lawn. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of that. I'm just going to kind of wipe a little bit of that off so it doesn't mix too much. And we'll go kind of over the top, see if that changes it very much. Yeah, it makes it a little more green. That's more like what I was thinking. Okay, so then the fun thing, and I think I want to do a little bit more of my ground espresso. I like that. Actually, I have black soot. No. Yeah, ground espresso. Let's see. Where did that one go? Yep, that's ground espresso. Sorry about the wiggle. That's better. There, and then I'm going to do a little more vintage photo. I don't remember which one I used for vintage photo, but that looks close. So I had some vintage photo up here, and then some down here, and some in here. I mean, that's pretty just the way it is, isn't it? But we're gonna do some water on it. Let me get those out of the way. Okay, so I have a water bottle. I could spray directly on it, but I don't know how concentrated my mist is. So I saw somebody spray their hand and then splatter. I want to keep it all in camera, so I'm going to put an old icky towel that I don't care about, so that I'm not... Okay, and then we're going to splatter. It's not enough? Okay, I don't need that. Okay. I have a little bit of lotion on my hands. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Okay. I don't know if that's enough or if I'm going to need to do some more. But you can see that it's starting to change. Which is pretty cool. I don't know how much of it is, like right there, I think that's from my light, not necessarily the color changing. Okay, I think I need to do, you guys, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to spray. Oh my gosh. Okay, stop. Stop. It dries pretty quickly. We're going to see what I think of that. I have a heat tool, but it's noisy and I don't know that I want to bring it out. I think I want a few more big splatters. That one is too big, but I do think that will be covered up. I think I missed entirely. I need some over here. The splatters are kind of fun. And then I guess you can do this and just pick things up. Okay, I don't know if I like that. That makes me kind of sad. I won't do that again. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna let that dry and go have some breakfast, and then I'll come back and we'll do some more. I had some breakfast. This is dry. We're going to add some splatter. I have an old, icky, very, like, I think kids paintbrush from when my kids were kids. So the bristles are like stiff and, you know, it's nothing special. It's not a splatter brush. I don't have one. And maybe I should get one. I don't know. This is the Dylusions ink spray. I don't know. Vanilla custard. Is that? No, I want lemon zest. I want the one that's more orange, which I think is the vanilla custard. Yeah. And this one is mushy peas. Oh, delicious. So to be able to, I don't want to spray it directly on my thing. I did do a test spray and it does that. And if I go way too far out, it's going to spray everywhere all over my desk. So I decided to spray it into a ramekin. And there's a little bit on the nozzle. I'm going to get it off. I think there was a little bit of water in my ramekin, but that's okay. So I sprayed in there, and then this is not something I'm very good at. I've tried splatters before. I'm a little lacking. Okay. There was too much water. That's okay. We'll have just two different, I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to say when there's saturation of color, we'll do like that. Okay. That's good. I like that. I wanted some kind of heavy drops, but I don't know what I want. I'm just doing it. But I do like it. And I like how it turned out on my practice. And I don't remember if that had been watered down. I don't remember. And I don't know for sure if I should let them dry in between sprays, because I want to do some of the orange over the top. Where did my paper towel go? It does dry pretty fast. Oh, I like the way that looks. That's cute. I like it. Cute, is that the right word? I don't know. Very artsy. Okay. Let's spray the orange one into my ramekin. I'm sure that that is, yeah, I'm sure that that's it. That's what I want. Again, I don't know what's going to be covered and what isn't. Good or more? I don't know. I think I'm going to call that good. I think that's enough splatter. Well, that's drying, and it seems to dry pretty quickly. One of the things I'm going to be doing is adding some leaves around the edge here and there. I don't really know for sure where, but I have these different leaves that I've gotten at the craft stores, probably Hobby Lobby, but I don't remember exactly for sure. These come from 3 different packages. Like this was in one package of leaves, but these were, they used to look like this, but I pulled them apart. Different color though. No, it was that color. There we go. They were like that, but I pulled them apart. And then I have a couple of these leaves from a different package. So, you know, find yourself some packages of leaves. Sometimes they have stems on them. These stems pull off very easily. Let me show you. There we go. So whether you're working in a journal or whatever, you could do mark making with this probably. I'm not going to, but I suppose you could. Could be fun. Anyway, you can keep these for something else, you know, to attach to your project or something. I don't think I want to. I ironed mine. I don't know that I needed to. I wasn't sure how I was going to put them down, but I thought they would stay down more easily. But of course, a real leaf is going to be, you know, not flat. Okay, but I did iron mine. That is almost dry, you guys, so that I like. It worked pretty quick. And I think it looks really good. I hope that you guys can see it. I'll go a little closer for you. I think it looks really good. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, well, I'm going to back you back out, which I can only do with my hands because I'm doing on my phone, you know, and I don't know how other people do it. Sometimes I see people move their, you know, up close and farther out. I don't know. It's totally magic to me. I don't know. Okay, I want to ink around the edges now just to kind of finish off my base. And we will be covering up some of what we've done, but that's okay. Actually, it still shows through, and I didn't know that either. I didn't know if it would still show through or not. But we're going to give it a nice edge, and then we're going to pull our tape off and see what we have. It always looks nice when the tape comes off. It's like, ooh, what did I make? So I've made a couple other mixed media videos in the last couple of weeks. If you are interested, I've made a playlist. And if you haven't seen those and you want to see what I've been doing, those were more with paper, playing with paper. And so yeah, there's a mixed media playlist. And so I'll be adding these every week. And everything is beginner because I'm a beginner. I'm learning. And so if you guys want to learn along with me each week, I think that would be really fun. And we'll figure out together what products, you know, what they do even, because a lot of times I'll find a video and I'll watch something. I'm like, oh, well, what do you do with that? And you see one thing you can do with it, but I don't know. We'll just see. And I'm going to do a little bit of, I need to get some of my ink off of one of these brushes. Well, it really gets in there. Okay. I'm just going to go right along the edge with some black soot. And then we'll pull the tape off. Sometimes I get a little bit more than I really wanted to, but it's okay. Again, I'm not quite sure what's going to be covered and what isn't. I guess I can cover up my mistakes purposefully. Let's see how this turned out, and then we'll figure out what we're going to add on top. Get some of these things out of my way. All right. I pull my tape at an angle in hopes to not tear my paper. I need to get regular masking tape. I think it comes off more easily. It comes off more easily than the last couple that I've done because I used paint on those. And I also think that I left it longer because the process, whatever I was doing in the other ones, it just took me longer. So those two things together make a difference. Oh, I love it. How much fun. Oops, a little tear of the paper, but that's okay. So pretty. I like the edge, you know, with the two different colors that we use to go around the edge. Okay, so let's see here. I had thought originally, sorry, I was just talking to the floor. I had thought originally that I would use Fabri-Tac, but I don't think I want to. I think, and you know, this part is like, I have no idea, but I'm going to use am I going to use my paper cutter? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if my paper cutter will work on the leaves, but I'm going to put a couple of marks on my leaves so I can see where I wanted to cut. And we'll see if my paper cutter will cut through it. I'm going to avoid, let's see, we're just going to cut. We're going to see what happens. Not so much. What other cutter do I have? Well, you know, there's always scissors. My lines won't be perfectly straight, but you know, it'll be all right. Get my paper cutter out of the way. If I had a fresh blade and new little base thing where the blade cuts, then I think it might have worked better. So I'm going to keep that because I can cut it somewhere else. You know, I just don't know where I'm going to possibly need it at this point. And see, here's the part that I just don't know, and I feel like it's going to take me a little while. I don't want to overdo it, but I also don't want to underdo it. what about this color? This color is good. Oh, I like it just like that. Isn't that funny how you can lay something down? It's like perfect. Okay, I'm going to come up just a little bit so I don't have to try to cut through that downward area. Okay. I'm going to save maybe these ones I ironed, but they still have quite a bit of texture to it. And as well as these small ones, it didn't iron out. So I thought it might be nice on top because it'll give a little bit of raised, I don't know what you want to call it. And, you know, see which side you like best. I mean, it was intended to go that direction, so I think that is good. And then, you know, layer. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, she says. Okay, I'm going to cut that straight. Ish. And then I'll have to figure out my corner. Let's see. All right, I still need to cut a little bit right here. I want them within the lines. That's pretty good. Now, I mean, actually kind of being outside of the line is kind of cool, but I got lines, I'm gonna use them. I can't help it. Okay, and then there and there. See if I can follow those. Oh, that's fine. And then, okay. Good. Good, good, good. So then this one goes on top of it. I like it. I like it, I like it. I have that. I don't know. I feel like it needs to be in the corner. Right, it has to be. I have to put something in the corner. Nope. Can't use that side. Thinking. I hope you guys are in camera okay. Yeah. I really feel like I have to put something in every corner. Well, not this one. Look, I'm not doing that one with a corner. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Now I have to find my line. I think it's right there-ish. direction. And then I can layer more as I get things glued down, right? That's a good plan. I kind of like these little ones to kind of just be here and there, and that may be what I do. I'm just gonna go for it and attach these. Let's see here. Cleaning up the nozzle of my hot glue gun. Okay. I like it. It's not perfectly glued down. It's not flat, you know, so there still has a little bit of a leaf quality to it, and it moves, so I like that. Don't push too hard, it comes through. Put a little bit right there. This one is going to be a little harder. Let's see, maybe I'll put the glue directly on it. Good. What do you think so far? Kind of fun? Oh, I almost went farther than the leaf needed to go. The leaf needed me to go. I like it. And I'm having fun. So this is why I'm doing this. I've been watching, you know, people make stuff, and it looks like so much fun, but at the same time, it's a little bit overwhelming because it's learning a whole new process of things. And, you know, what I do most often, you know, is just cutting and pasting. This requires more. And so it does for me anyway. Some people are very naturally artistic, and I can, like, you know, put colors together or something like that, but I don't know, this just, it requires a lot of thought for me. And so maybe, I guess with practice, that it helps. It helps, I think, probably. I remember when I first started making journals, I would sit, now don't get me wrong, I still, you know, get stuck on a page sometimes, But I remember sitting and just staring with this knot in my throat, just not knowing what to do. Like I needed something on that page and I just would be frozen. Not that that doesn't still happen. Sometimes it does, but I guess it's less often, I guess, because of practice is what I'm trying to say. So I'm hoping that with practice, it becomes more natural. We shall see. Might have been fun to outline my leaves with a marker beforehand. And I don't know, maybe it's something I can still do when I'm finished. Might be something I can do when I'm done. I can go back and add some marks on the leaves. All right, so that's not all. But so I'm gonna put a Bible verse on it. So I need to go and print that off, but then I will be layering that with some other things, and then we'll add, I think, add some more leaves on top. I've been working on getting things figured out. I think I've got it. So I have this old piece of lace that was gifted to me in a Happy Mail quite some time ago. And then I layered up some scrapbook, like cardstock, and I printed on some coffee dyed paper, sewed around it. I put a little bit of this stuff. I don't know what you call this stuff. It's not cheesecloth. It's too porous for cheesecloth, if that's the right word. But I grunged it up. I did this one. I grunged it up with my fingernail because it's just a thin, you know, coffee dyed paper. This one I used my scissors. I want to put a couple of brads, I think, just in the corner on just these two sides. Let's see. Trying to find something to poke on. Oh, I have this. It's only going to show on two sides. I'm going to put something over on this other side. You know, just giving another something to look at. Let's see if I can get the brad through there. That's what it's called, a brad. So this is one of my favorite verses. I really like the verses on like God's promises. I find them very, oh, what's the word? Comforting. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. Genesis 8:22, I'm sorry. I like that one. Another one of the, I don't know the whole verse, but where it talks about how God is faithful. I love that. I mean, that's just, to me, crazy, you know? And he is faithful in this as well, so. Oh, okay, I'm not done. More layering. So I have a piece of muslin that was coffee dyed I found in my scraps, and then I just took it, and you know what I did? I took it and I went like this, and I did it on my Distress Oxide, you know, pad, and I did each side of it so that it wasn't completely perfectly inked, but kind of. And so, and I did some stitching along the side, and I balled up a little bit of extra thread over there. And then I have this mushroom that I printed off of Graphics Fairy. So again, my printer is a laser, so it prints shiny. I wish it was dull like this, the background, but it's not what I have. I'm going to put that over to the side, and that is going to help me decide where to glue it down to this. So let's go ahead and just get that glued down on just this side at least. Yes. And then we'll glue this to this. Trying to decide what I want to do it with. Well, if I know for sure where I want this bottom one, and I think that's a good spot for the bottom one. So let me move this out of the way. We'll go ahead and get this part glued down. Okay, just a little bit on the edge here. So I'm wanting instant. That's why I'm using the hot glue. I am going to do it here as well. Maybe like this. Kind of work my way the other direction. And perfectly flat is not what I'm going for. Just saying. I need a little bit more glue. Okay. And then this right on top. I want my stitching to show. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is put I think it needs to be this. The one thing about hot glue when it's a large area, it might, okay, I'm just gonna go for it and hope it works. It might start to, you know, harden up again before you get it pushed down, so hopefully not. I don't want to squish it so much over on the side that it oozes out. Okay, I like that. Hopefully that gets the shine off the mushrooms. I don't know if you have shine. I do when I'm looking at it at my angle. Oh, I just think that's so cute. Okay. I think what I'm going to do next is sit and mark around all of my leaves. I feel like they need some definition, so I'm going to just sit and do this, but you guys don't need to see me do all of that. I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm not going like crazy perfect. I just want a little bit of outline on the edge. And whatever marker you might have is probably going to work differently, so just work with what you have. I'll hold it up to the camera here in just a second. And it kind of goes along with the lines that are already in the leaves, so I think that works. Hopefully you can see that there's a little bit of difference there. It'll be more obvious over here on these. I think I'm going to do, well, I think I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll go ahead and do just the edges too of the leaf. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off while I mark around all of my leaves, and then we'll do the finishing touches. Okay, so now I have all of those marked around, and I think that that made a huge difference. It did to me anyway. I hope you guys can see the difference. You know, there's something I intended to do and I totally forgot. I wanted to make some writing marks underneath, and I thought maybe a stamp, but now that I have all this stuff on here, I'm thinking maybe a stencil. And I'll just kind of put a little bit here and there and hope that it works out. Let's see here. Where are one of my brushes? Where is one of my brushes? This is just Distress Ink. I used to sit my dauber right on top of it, but it's just the regular Distress Ink. I'm trying to get the color out so that it's just black. Hopefully that did it. Okay. And I just want a little bit. I don't have my tape on here anymore, so that's could be disastrous. Well, that's good. I like it. Okay, we'll do a little bit right here. I like that the word beauty is right there. We should use it. I have it stuck now. What's it stuck to? Okay. Cute. I like that. Oh, I think that adds a lot. I like it. Okay, I want a bit of a word right over here. Things function concrete. Wait. I'm trying to see if there are a couple of words that maybe shape. I know I probably shouldn't be trying so hard to, but you know, if the word's there, I might as well use it. I want it a little higher, I think. Okay, I'm getting stuck on my, where is the word again? I want it to show, so maybe I just need to, like, this. Oh, I went out of the line just a little bit, but that's okay. All right, I like that. And then right up here, do a little bit, and then we'll be done with that. I'm sure I keep hitting my head on my camera, and I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Maybe, what can I put up there? To try not, I have so many things in my way, you guys. just don't want to get it on the white part. Okay. All right, that's good. That's good. Stop while you're ahead, Stephanie. I have so much to clean up, but I'm not done yet. I have these leaves. I didn't mark around this one. I probably should have. Maybe I'll just do a little bit, but there's so much like, there's so many little points that that's a lot of points, but I guess I can do it quickly, and you guys are probably watching me in fast forward if you're even still here. So it shouldn't take me long at all. So if you are still here and you like mixed media, and you're new, do you get overwhelmed? Because that's, for me, totally. I totally get overwhelmed. Okay, I want this one up here and one of these, I think, kind of overlapping. And I think I want one up here. They're falling, so I need it to look like it's falling. Do they ever fall that direction? I don't know. I don't know. Do I want it like that? And then like here, maybe? Or touching that, or in the corner? Maybe right there in the corner. I like the corner. Or that's not really the corner, but kind of the corner. So that one's going right there. Perfect. This one is going right here. Little bit of glue. I'm going to put a little jute bow on that. I like it. Where's my bow? I tied a bow, and I thought just finish it off with the bow, you know, because that makes sense. Why wouldn't there be a bow? I think we're done. That one didn't take me nearly as long as some of the others I've done. It was like all day, all day, all day. So there we go. I like it. I need to, you know, pull off a few glue strings here and there as I find them. But I think it turned out really cute. I hope you guys like it. I hope that maybe we learned something together on how to work with the Distress oxides and water. And I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. I plan to try and make a video every Monday using some sort of technique. I want this going that direction, but I'm not going to glue it down. I think it'll stay that way when I get it into a book. Anyway, yeah, come back next Monday. I'll have a playlist, mixed media, beginner mixed media play. or something like that, just look in my playlists. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.